It's a strange way to begin this, but I'm going to start this video with a piece of writing advice. I'm not really in a position to give any, seeing as I haven't yet tried to publish anything, but still, if there's one piece of advice I would have given my younger self about writing, it's this. You don't have to be so clever all the time. Stop trying so hard and just write something truthful that people can connect with. That's advice that doesn't just apply to writing though, really, because I think there's a stage in all of our lives. It might be a stage that comes again sometime, but where you're trying to be very clever with everything. You know, and learning is obviously a good thing. Yeah, I've talked about that before, I reckon, but sometimes we get caught up in wanting to learn because we want to be seen as someone smart or, well, intelligent. And a lot of that's to do with insecurity, really. The feeling we're not smart enough at the moment to convince anyone of whatever, that we've got to be something more. And for some, maybe the feeling goes even further and it's a superiority thing where they want to feel smarter than everybody else so they can parade around in it. It was never that for me, but there was definitely once a stage in my life where I tried very hard to be more intelligent. And it was during uni when I studied literature as an undergraduate, and I suspect it was brought on partly by studying literature and having to dip my head into Dante and Spencer and whatever else. You know, suddenly I was surrounded by all these genius writers, and I suppose I wanted to be as genius as they were, or something, in that very arrogant way teenagers can think. You know, the arrogance of youth, I should say. So I kept reading high literature even in the summer holidays outside of uni, and I tried to learn chess, like proper chess with all the formations and everything, and to get good at crosswords and all of this stuff. You know, I watched tons of documentaries and studied and read about the ancient Roman history and all sorts of stuff that just seems ridiculous to think back on now. I mean, I can't say I didn't get stuff out of it, because I probably did in some ways. But even if I did get a lot out of the literature, it still seems a waste somehow to have tried so hard to be somebody I wasn't. And then I grew out of that stage in my life. I grew up, maybe. I guess I realised I wasn't that clever. I mean, I know there's things I am clever at, but there's also a lot of things where I'm ridiculously stupid. And even the things I am clever at, I'm not a genius, and I never will be. I'm an ordinary person who happens to have a creative side and happens to get a bit carried away and have an obsession for analysing things. But this all sounds very self-indulgent now, which isn't a good thing. I was just trying to say my writing used to be terrible. And I think I had some good ideas, but the way everything read just reeked of somebody trying too hard. Somebody trying to be something he wasn't, something intellectual, rather than somebody just trying to express something, which is the point of art, to express something. You know, beauty comes from the heart much more than it's a thing of clever fancy stuff. And like I said, the point isn't just true for writing, it's also true for life in general, because I think I became wiser, if I can say that, when I stopped trying to be so clever. You know, I don't think ignorance is bliss at all, but intelligence and knowledge won't make you wise any more than wearing all the right kit with the right shoes will make you a long distance runner. And I looked back at some of my old writing. I had a little diary as well, not for like my life, but for recording supposedly philosophical thoughts and all of this stuff in it. And I was going to make this video here sharing those thoughts and kind of laughing at my younger, dumber self, but reading it back I noticed something I didn't expect, flicking through the diary. I talked a lot about finding happiness in it, and lots about contentment and acceptance and how to become happy, and it read like someone trying to decipher a puzzle he didn't understand, to translate a foreign language he didn't know. And it made me realise I must have been quite unhappy back then. Because I don't think I knew I was unhappy at the time. not when I wrote the diary. I'd been terribly unhappy earlier in my life, but not then. Although I guess I still hadn't found my way. I was still on the route back, and that's what the diary reads like. All these supposedly clever little meditations on life and happiness. It reads like someone desperately trying to understand what happiness is and how to reach it, and desperately trying to find his way. And there is a point to me telling you all this. I think I've just kind of I'm not entirely clear on what it is in my head, but there's an episode of Lewis, if you've seen it, called The Soul of Genius, which I don't want to talk about too much today, because I was planning to make a video analysing it someday, because it's a very good example of a murder mystery episode and what you can kind of do with it meaningfully. But for the sake of what I'm saying here, it's an episode that revolves heavily around the poem by Lewis Carroll called The Hunting of the Snark.
10-man crew in search of a snark.
And what's a snark?
That's precisely the question nobody knows. It's about the search for meaning, being in nothingness, the unanswerable questions of existence. It's the impossible quest.
And the murder victim in the episode was a man who believed there was a Da Vinci Code style riddle hidden in the poem, and he was trying to solve it before he got killed. This becomes the theme of the episode, the Hunting of the Snark, a poem about a group of people hunting for this creature, the snark, despite none of them knowing what it is nor how to find it. And then this man trying to solve the riddle of the poem, and then Lewis and Hathaway trying to solve the mystery of the man's murder. And there's a woman whose son died of a drug overdose several years ago, and she can't accept that verdict that he died of a drug overdose, so she's been tirelessly trying to solve some mystery she imagines there being, some darker truth to his death. And there's a scientist trying to discover a cure for his wife's illness, and there's just all of these different quests stretched across the episode. And Hathaway makes the point when they stop at a pub to review the case.
All these lonely people pouring their lives into puzzles that can't be solved.
Which is a statement that stands true for Hathaway more than anybody else. But I reckon it was also true for me in some senses once. Maybe still now, actually. But these obsessions we take up, they're symbolic somehow, I think. It's like we're trying to find our way in life, but we don't know how to find our way because it's not a clear, straightforward thing you can just solve or find an answer to. So we focus on some other sort of puzzle that is a bit more straightforward, hoping that solving that will symbolically be like solving the bigger, much more important puzzle of our lives. I never did get that smart, really. In the end, I just gave up trying so hard. Or maybe I just stopped trying so hard because I found things that mattered more. I don't know which way round that came. I mean, there's nothing wrong in wanting to be smarter or stronger or better at whatever it is. I think that's natural as human beings, that we want to develop. We just have to question why we want to be smarter or stronger. What does it matter to me specifically as a person? Although maybe that itself is the puzzle that can't be solved, the impossible quest. I mean, I'm not entirely sure I can argue I've found my way even now. There's still a lot wrong with my life. Lots I may talk about someday. There's just something sad to think maybe our lives are like hunting for the snark, not knowing what it is, how to find it, or if we ever will. And we don't have to go hunting, of course, but then what do we do instead? And in the Lewis episode, the woman trying to unravel some imagined mystery about her son's death has to learn how to let go, to stop hunting, to
think less about his death, more about his life.
And there's these two students who are trying even harder to be geniuses than I ever did. And they want to get into the elusive Wednesday Club, which is a secret club for geniuses in Oxford. Only once they do get in, they discover it's an illusion. It's not really a club, it's just nothing but a narcissist playing on people's egos with the idea of a club. And even the solving of the murder itself seems to bring little good. I don't know what I'm thinking exactly. I'm just, what are we all hunting for, I guess? Are we hunting to find the answer to what we're hunting for? Are we just hunting for the sense of adventure it brings us? It would be hypocritical of me to say it's better to stop hunting when I myself haven't really stopped and don't know how to. I hope there's something meaningful in this ramble somewhere. I hope you can take something from it. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you know better than I do what I'm talking about. This marks the end of my daily uploads as well. 7 videos in 7 days to celebrate the 7 months it's taken to get 1,000 subscribers. And honestly, I don't think I'm going to try daily uploads again. It's worn me out completely. And anyway, I don't think it's what you guys wanted. I think you prefer me taking the extra time needed to make more expansive videos anyway. I mean, I can't kid myself. If I don't make another Breakfast Club or Spirited Away video soon, you'll all get impatient and fed up with me and probably start leaving. So I promise I'll start work soon. I've explained why I need to leave a break between them, but I will start soon. Like the video if you like it anyway, if you got something from this. Comment your thoughts. I don't know if I'll upload anything this weekend or not. I might need a rest after 7 days worth of daily uploads. So if that's the case, see you next week. And if it's not, see you this weekend, hopefully.